So we're going to take a look at pages 40 and 41, and then we're going to go to the back of the book as well. I hope that you all have been doing the daily work in here. And even if you skip a day or miss a day, you can always go back and do it. And you know, if you finish after Easter, that's okay too. I just find that the material this Lenten season is, to me at least, incredibly powerful. And I thought that we could start with that passage from Colossians 3:13. Bear with one another, and if anyone has a complaint against another, forgive each other. Just as the Lord has forgiven you, so you also must forgive. And then he gives this bizarre kind of definition of what to do in terms of forgiving. And I'll read it out loud, but I hope you've read it today, and if you haven't, go back and take some time with this, because it, again, to me is powerful. This is from a fellow by the name of Robert Enright, who is a leading researcher on forgiveness. And he says, when unjustly hurt by another, we forgive when we overcome the resentment toward the offender, not by denying our right to the resentment, but instead by trying to offer the wrongdoer compassion, benevolence, and love. As we give these, as we as forgivers realize that the offender does not necessarily have a right to such gifts. That last sentence just kind of caught me, because I got to admit, I've thought that before when I've tried to be forgiving about someone who was offended, and I thought, but they don't really deserve this. And I must admit, I've never felt good about myself when I've said that or thought that. But to hear somebody who's a researcher, leading researcher on forgiveness, say that kind of frees me in a way, and maybe it'll do the same for others. They do not necessarily have a right to such gifts, but by trying to offer these gifts to them, compassion, benevolence, and love, we do something for ourselves. And it's that thing we talked about briefly last week about the idea of holding anger against someone is like, how do we say it? Drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. So, and there's lots of truth in that. But he goes on to say forgiveness is a choice. And when we let go of our right to be resentful, we begin the process of forgiveness. So spend a little time with that if you'd like, and see where it takes you. Then I want to work our way into tomorrow, and I want to ask you to read that first part on page 41 from Ephesians 5, 1 and 2. And read it and see what it does. So what do you think about that quotation from Ephesians 5, 1 and 2?
It's hard to do.
Yeah. Do you like the part that says, keep company with God and learn a life of love.
That's probably what Mother Teresa said.
Yeah? Well, I'm going to throw something at you. Ephesians 5, the way we quote it in the prayer book is, walk in love as Christ loved us and gave himself for us, an offering and sacrifice to God. But the way it's written in the Message opens it up to me. And I love walk in love as Christ loved us. It's our 2024 theme for stewardship. It's our Bible quotation. We say it often as an introduction to when we're doing the offertory. But to me, the way the Message portrays it is just so much bigger.
I like that translation.
His love was not cautious, but extravagant. He didn't love in order to get something from us, but in order to give everything of himself to us. Wow. Yeah, hard to do, sure, but worth contemplating, worth trying, worth making a part of our Lenten journey into forgiveness. Yeah. Then I want to, Carol, I'll give you a book here so you can follow along.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Or you could take one of those in Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would work.
It's just a thought.
Let me get my phone out.
Okay, yeah, that's right. We're on page 84. We're moving to page 84. A contemplative practice is a wonder walk. Now, we're not going to do a walk right now, but I was intrigued again by the fact that both Augustine, who said it is solved by walking, and Friedrich Nietzsche, who said all truly great thoughts are conceived while walking. Contemplative walking is a little different than just walking. So a wonder walk is both for those who are able to walk as well as for those who are not able to walk. If you're unable to walk, try this practice with your eyes closed, or while watching a video, or gazing at photographs of places in nature that inspire you. 3 simple ideas to help you get started. Choose a question, situation, or challenge you wish to ponder and wonder about, perhaps related to practicing forgiveness. As you walk, open your heart, mind, and soul to the wisdom of the Spirit as you consider, silently or aloud, I wonder what I might do or say about, and then fill in the blank. I wonder what God might guide me to do or say about, fill in the blank. Be curious. Don't force an answer or resolution. Simply walk or sit and wonder about possible insights you may not previously have been able to see. Walk with a scripture verse. And there are a whole bunch of them on pages 39 and 40 that you can take a look at. And I mean, those are specific ones that might work because they're about forgiveness. And there are lots of other, scripture verses on other pages in here as well, in this back part, near the contemplative practices. So, walk in nature. Walk slowly, noticing the wonder of God's creation. Pick up a turtle. Put it back in the lake. We had that conversation at dinner, so I'm just tying that in. Yes. Perhaps pausing from time to time to pay attention to things you might not notice if you were walking at your normal pace. You know, folks, you all see it just like I do. I don't have my phone with me, but when you see people walking nowadays, everybody's looking at their stinking phone. They got their head down and they're walking. And did you see that commercial? It's about 6 months old now, but the guy who was who wouldn't open the door for people and all that, and he's walking in the street in a car, and he's going against the light, and the car almost hits him, and he looks at them, and he looks at, I'm on my phone, what's wrong with you? That's how I think people think they're supposed to be nowadays. Put the phone down. Walk and listen, walk and wonder. It takes a little bit of, if you want to get in shape, and most of you are in wonderful physical shape, with a few exceptions. I'm raising my hand. But you don't get in shape without some work. You don't get in spiritual shape without some work. So, and this is what I love about it. The work is kind of almost done for us. I mean, we don't have to do the research. We just need to read the pages and then do a little bit of work. So I encourage you, as I encourage myself, and so see what you can do to continue the process and the practice of forgiveness. Okay, we're going to turn over the evening to our leaders, Gale and Derek. And did we lose Pam? Did she go away?
No, she's just staying behind the curtain this evening. She prefers to listen and watch instead of be seen.
Okay. Fine and dandy. So who's going to start? Gale?
No,
or
Derek.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and start off about community engagement, and I want to thank everybody that came in and is staying through this particular presentation. It's good to see my church family. Hi, everyone. When it comes to community engagement, I kind of took on this task or role or volunteered for it because it's something that I've kind of always done. But when I first came to St. John's, this role is something I did with resumes and job descriptions. So I help businesses build their job descriptions, and I help job seekers match them to open positions with the businesses. And later on, housing was my shtick. So for a little while, I posted rental advertisements, and I tried to foster a community. I was very successful at fostering a community that helped and collaborated each other as we made it through challenging times. So I kind of chose this because I really like community outreach. I like community engagement. I like seeing what's out there and how things work, and I do that by collecting a lot of good business information. So far, as we reach out to the community, I've been working on a frequently asked questions that I only have like 4 or 5. I think I'm up to 5 now. But I built that from questions that we've had both in the real estate committee and then also in the vestry that we've developed. But I'd like to have at least like 9 or 10. So I'm hoping by engaging you guys, we'd be able to add a little bit more to a frequently asked questions, so that as we approach friends, family, neighbors, people that we see in our day-to-day lives, we have a strong unified message. Because I know that with our mission, I'm really good about the words that are on the wall behind you above the pass-through, where we pass through the food in the kitchen. I'm good with that mission when I want to use it on somebody and tell them about themselves. But when somebody in the community comes to me outside of church and says, hey, what's your mission? I draw a blank. So I have to have a little bit of something printed or something substantial either in my hand or on my phone, and I do put my phone down after I've read it so that I can gauge eye to eye and ear to ear with individuals. So community engagement, community outreach is very important to me, and I want to make sure that the frequently asked questions is something that we've come up to as a fellowship or congregation, or what we do within the parish. I want to have several voices in a group consensus on how that's made, so that as we get stronger in our outreach, we have some personal confidence in that. So with that being said, we do have some printed collateral that is available that talks about interested parties or people that we may want to reach out to that's been provided to us by the diocese. So if anyone individually has questions about that, or you don't have questions today, or someone comes to you later and they want either numbers, they're numbers driven and want statistics, this information's available. This information is available to provide them on what we see in the community. We do have suggestions out there to reach out to other churches. So if that's within our group conscious, to reach out to the Catholics, the Mormons, That's definitely something that we may receive questions on or about. So feel free to receive that in and say, hey, 2 or 3 families wanted to know, or businesses wanted to know, how are we approaching this through the interfaith? Another piece to it was someone from the Muslim faith has reached out to me and said, hey, I know you're active in that church. Derek, you're a busybody. Is there something we can take to the board of directors at our local mosque in Temecula, right? For some reason, I saw maybe Escondido or Oceanside, maybe someone we may want to talk to about as a North County thing, but I had no idea that I would be reached out to by a member of the Muslim community. Same thing with the Jewish side. Do we want to reach out to, how do we want interfaith to look, and what do we want to come to as a group consensus among the parish or congregation? So that's just on the faith-based side, as we honestly put our feet on the street and start asking questions and letting other people drive those conversations. A few things that I've also looked at is kind of segregating out where we're strong and where we're not. Here in a moment, Gail's going to be asking some of you for your community contacts. Who do you think we should reach out to? And that's more important than anything that we've done, either within vestry or the service committee, for what we should do with the gift of place. So with that being said, I like to help break them down into, in the back of my mind, into little categories on services that may be provided as we reach out, so that we can kind of qualify who's asking questions and what. There's major categories out there like family support and intervention services, community involvement and advocacy groups, community activities or cultural programs, religious or spiritual programs. For us offering the gift of place, I feel like we really have a lot to offer when it comes to religious or spiritual programs. There's a list of them that goes into what types of programs that may be interested or solicited. But one piece that I like is if we choose to go in collaboration with or partner with other people that offer different specialties. I just want us to have a cognizance that community activities or cultural programs may be music, drama, art, holiday programs or activities, seniors and retiree activities. Is this something that we want to have at the Stagecoach property, or is this going to be something that the church assesses value to? Singles or college age groups. As long as I've been in service with the church, I don't hear a lot of us talking about Palomar. We have a campus, a community college campus here. So if we have friends or family that would like to give us an opinion to help guide our group conscience in regards to community colleges, Mount San Jacinto is down in Temecula. They're not far away either. So there's things that we can do as we qualify the inquiries under community activities or cultural programs. Other ones are community involvement and advocacy programs like adult social activities, involvement in social causes, mission trips and global outreach, opportunities for volunteering in the community. One thing that I've had fun with working with Gale is she's got a lot of these types of resources that would be part of our collaborations, or at least express an interest of expressions or requests for information. So as we grow our group into you guys that are not part of the committees, and your friends, family, neighbors, people you do business with every day, just kind of have this in the back of your mind or the back of your heart saying, hey, this would fit in here, or this may be open for more discussion later. Other ones are family support and intervention services, such as after-school programs, crisis support, right? Crisis support is close to my heart, honestly, because the first year that I took over the apartment complex, there was an explosion there, and I had to call the Red Cross. I needed Red Cross to come to my property and help my 25 families. So crisis support is something that happens here in Fallbrook. Recently, the flooding has had an impact in Fallbrook. My sister, I was eroding up on Mission Road. However, the sister property was underwater, and families needed support with that. So if we find some community outreach group, like maybe Red Cross could set up a desk or something, if we go a multi-purpose direction. But we're in a information collection stage. Who wants to have attitudes, ideas, and opinions? Bring that in, collect their contact information. Tell them you may not have the information on hand right now, but you can definitely have someone from church reach out to them and help with steps. Marriage enrichment, parenting development, personal and family counseling are other pieces that work if we go with a multi-purpose direction. Things that I like out there is personal growth. The first piece under personal growth is addiction support groups. I prefer to feed that one with a long-handled spoon because there are tools and resources that are out there to help with that. Health and weight loss programs, membership and leadership training. Leadership training is huge these days. Opportunities to develop personal relationships, practical training seminars like money management, computer skills. Computer literacy and digital literacy are huge issues that are out there. So as we pull in partners, that first come to mind for me would be like Mac Project really focuses in on these. These are types of people that I would want to reach out to, but I don't want to reach out to them unless you and the people that follow you as a parish or congregation say, hey, that fits in our scope, or that aligns with what we want to do, or we can tie it to the mission this way. So this is just kind of like a first steps to help bring you guys into the fold and start getting prepared on being uncomfortable, because there may be questions posed to you from the community that you're not ready yet. So it's okay for you not to have the answers right away. More will be revealed. And as long as we know that we can collect the information that Gale's about to start on, I want you to do so with faith and confidence and saying, hey, even though I may not have the answer, someone from within the congregation or fellowship does. Just give us a little bit of time and we'll reach out to you. So that's my piece of the presentation, and from here I will turn it over to Gale.
Thank you, Derek.
Thank you.
Nice.
You can let him in on your phone.
We're talking about all the people that we know, and he was mentioning the fact that I am involved in different things within the community, that I meet people and I get involved in things. But every one of you do, whether you realize it or not. You're in either your neighborhood community, you're in like if you go and take classes, like you said, someplace, everybody knows somebody. And so what I've done is I put put some index cards on the table. And what I'd like you to do is take just like 5 minutes or so and figure out who are some of the people that you know that you might want to ask, what would you like to see up here? What would you like to see in Fallbrook? Or people that you have actually been talking to and saying, boy, do we need, and that type of thing. Personally, I think Fallbrook is extremely lucky because we have so many organizations and we have so many nonprofits and things like that. So anyway, if you'll take 5 minutes and just write your own things down, please, and just say people that you know and where they come from or what they are. Give it some sort of a, because we're going to try to put these people into categories. We're going to try to put it into religious, external relationships, education, principals, teachers, childcare. We're going to do community, cultural, civical clubs, communication, journalists. Come on, you must know people in town who do all the printing and the web paging and all the other kinds of things that help us.
Well,
And services
How long do you know?
like the fire, the police, the utilities, the different kinds of health services that are in town, and many of the services that are not in this town. Economic, the business owners and realtors you know in town. Civic, the council members, the mayor, like we have a mayor, community liaisons, and then just plain old some regular folks who you know who are involved in a lot of things and always have an opinion on something, and just kind of write down some of these things, and then I'm going to ask you to kind of all at the table come up with some, and then we'll try to put them up here and figure out, and are these people that we want to contact? Are these people that we want to go out and ask questions of? Are they people we should be asking? There's all kinds of opportunities for us to either do, they call it a windshield survey, where you go around in a neighborhood and you put a survey on the windshields of different people and ask them to mail them in, or to just give them thoughts and have them tell you what they're thinking, so that we know. I know a lot of people are very concerned about the fact that we might have the neighbors up there, because when they were trying to get the church approved up there was a lot of kickback. But eventually, through negotiation and whatever, and understanding what the other people want.
Person, not recording, and they answer all my This staff of highly trained oxygen specialists are standing by waiting for your call. We'll answer any question you might have, so call us right now. We're here to help. Our oxygen specialists will even
Do we
contact
have
your
to have a
doctor.
commercial?
So does that pay for the food? The advertising?
Anyway, so will you just take 5 minutes now and write down some of the people that you know?
So you want the
And-
organization
No, you-
and the
you do know
people of
people.
the organization, or, I don't know what you
Maybe in
want.
Temecula, maybe in Vista, maybe wherever, some of the people.
Carol had a question.
Do
Yeah.
you want the organization, or do you want people
People.
within the
People.
organization?
People.
What if
People.
we don't know their names for sure?
Just put what you know of them, just so that we can maybe identify them in some way. Okay?
I mean,
If,
by the organization that they're in? Is
yeah,
that what you want?
right, yeah. It doesn't matter. We're going to just play with it. There's no right, wrong answer.
Well, you gotta have something to play with first. So
Right.
That's what I'm
But
trying to
if
figure
it's
out.
organization, then it's going to be organization, okay?
Okay,
If it's going to be the CPA of the organization, great. We'll get his name later. Not really. That's not what we're trying to do. Now, wait a minute. You know the senior, you know Sierra Heights? The people at Sierra Heights? Yes? Don't tell me you don't know anybody else. Just
Okay,
put
the
the,
name is
that's
necessary.
necessary.
You know how to
I
get
go
Yeah,
over to
yeah,
the
the
senior
event,
center.
it's Alvarado.
And, I don't know the guy's name or the woman's name.
Bandwagon over here.
Put
it down as
Alvarado.
Do you
organization.
know any of
Center.
the food people?
Cause I
in
go
town?
over there,
Where's that?
You've got to know the
the
people in
senior center, I
Albertsons.
go over to
Yeah, I
dance
say
class over there,
Albertsons.
exercise.
What, like a Silver Gate or something?
No, we have a senior center in Fallbrook.
The one on,
By the community center,
on
Yeah.
Main and Mission or whatever?
No, it's on
Fallbrook Street.
Fallbrook Street and,
It's right by La Paloma High School,
Yeah.
elementary.
Oh, it's way up there?
Yeah.
you haven't ever been there?
No, I'm not a senior.
You are too.
You are
That-
too now.
Well, he finally did become one, but it took
You
a while.
can't think
Well,
of anybody?
I'm not a
Is
senior.
there a senior center over there on Fallbrook Street?
there's a lot of action going on over there. Some of you seniors should pay attention.
Allison and Kevin. Kevin goes there, I think, and I think he plays cards, so it's
Kevin?
up
I
there.
don't know.
Kevin George,
Well, I don't play cards,
Allison's,
so I don't know.
Allison's husband.
I don't know him because,
Okay.
but I'm just telling you, they have a lot of classes.
Right, they do?
And they do different activities
Right.
over there,
Uh-huh.
and you just have to look up their name, Senior Center,
Yeah.
Fallbrook,
Right.
and you'll find out what they do.
Fallbrook Regional Health is doing that too. Now they're filling in a lot of gaps that the senior center isn't taking care of. So
Well, they're not, you know what, they're not even filling in gaps as much as they're trying to push collaboration
yeah,
among the organizations.
yeah, and they got a lot going on though.
They do?
And so much planned
Uh-huh,
in the near future too.
right,
So.
exactly.
Yeah, but do you want to hang out with all the people? I don't want to hang out with all the people.
remember his name? I didn't.
Sorry to tell you, but you're old. She's calling
As
you
we're
old?
taking notes here, Gail, can I just have a quick moment too?
Why not?
There's all, if you're over 55.
Just a
you're
message
open,
from the
so-
diocese, and I think that a good group conscience would be good for us to start talking about now too, is how we want to approach any political contributors. Jessica River from the diocese mentioned that the Board of Supervisors had mentioned a few things from Jim Desmond's office. One, that's Fallbrook Affordable Housing Project might be something that they might want to spend some money on. The community of Fallbrook lacks affordable senior housing. With the senior population rapidly growing and the cost of living increasing, this is an important project. Funding is needed for property acquisition to build affordable senior housing. So I personally have relationships built with Gale Raymer's office and Joel, I forgot Joel's last name. But do we want, as a church, to engage with these individuals that may have different opinions, attitudes, ideas, or behaviors, and can we streamline it to see how does this fit our mission outside of politics? Like, what can we do to enrich the community without becoming polarized? So these are questions that we may want to have in small groups now.
Oh, wow. I wonder if I'm going to see that. I would think.
You don't remember his name?
Thank you.
Was it Dominic something? Junior?
What do you have?
Okay, I can see this is really, I didn't realize this is such a tough assignment. I thought, oh, the people are gonna go like this.
People you know.
And that's exactly the point of this whole thing, is that you don't realize how many people you know. And so can we start with, just give me, Diane, give me a name that you came up with. You have nobody?
Nobody.
Okay. Dale, can you give me one?
Yeah, I'm already working with her. I work with Samantha Holt at ASYMCA
Uh-huh.
out on Camp Helen.
Okay, so where would you put her? Would you put her under health or?
No, no, I wouldn't put her under health. Actually, you know,
Sure.
their main mission is childcare.
Okay,
Childcare and
Second one
also,
up there, education, childcare.
okay.
Yeah.
So you think,
I put her up there.
and what's her name?
Samantha, S-A-M-A-N-T-H-A.
Okay,
She's the executive director of the ASYMCA.
That's right.
ASYMCA.
Yeah.
And are we all aware of how much and things that we've done for them
Oh
recently?
yeah, we had the
Right,
the
but
wife-
does everybody here realize who you're talking about?
I'm not sure, but
That's what I mean.
yeah, but
Okay, so would you say that our relationship with them, would you say that was good, bad, indifferent, strong, weak? Okay?
well, I'm working on it. I've been volunteering out there, and
Oh, good,
and
okay.
and so I would say that it's you know, it's improving. We want to develop a, you know, mutually
So I'm
mutual
gonna
support.
put strong, because if you think that you can go out there and talk to her and whatever, and what do they have to offer us?
What they have to offer us?
Uh-huh,
Well, I'm looking at primarily one of the reasons I wanted to get involved in it, because when you know, if you want a relationship, okay, everybody's got to participate. You know, we do things for them,
right,
they can do things for us.
Okay,
And
what
where I
can they
really
do for
really
us?
needed the support was moms, because they
Okay.
we deal with young mothers out there
okay,
every single day.
okay,
And I figured I could learn something about the needs and means for developing, you know, developing a MOPS program
Okay.
by working with them.
right. And,
Another piece, YMCA are notorious for having collaborations with like Girl Scouts clubs, Boys and Girls clubs, so they would be a foot in the door to other bank agencies.
Well, I think there's enough, YMCA is it's ubiquitous. I mean, it's all around. But the thing is, what the Armed Forces YMCA it focuses on just on the problems and challenges that military families have.
Right.
They're supporting
Okay.
military families.
so that would be part of fulfilling our mission of being a military-friendly church.
Absolutely.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
Armed Services.
okay,
And I have another one too,
okay,
which I'd like to develop, because
Uh-huh.
when I was working on the MOPS program,
uh-huh,
you know, a lot of that has to do with bringing in people to speak to
Right.
young moms.
uh-huh,
And one of the persons I called was a Fallbrook Regional Health District.
right,
And, you know, the lady, I can't recall the name of the lady out there that helped me, but she was very upbeat and helpful about having a program like that, and gave me some leads. Well, they actually have people that come and speak on various health issues and so forth.
right,
So the
right.
thing is,
So was it Teresa Durestano?
I really don't
Okay.
know. I can't recall. But I was just, you know, I was working to try to put together something
Uh-huh.
for MOPS at that
Right.
time. So I called them out there, and they said, "Oh, that's a really good idea. We'd like to
Uh-huh.
have something like that." And so, you know, we could give you leads like, even they said art, and gardening. I mean,
Okay.
all kinds of stuff. They have all the
So
contacts you
Regional
need.
Health, where would we put them? They really, they are health, but
But they're more community, is there?
I would agree with you,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
Fallbrook Regional Health District.
oh yeah. I think that's a key
Okay,
one.
and I'm gonna put strong there because the ED there, Rachel Mason, is used to be the ED at the Fallbrook Foundation, the Foundation
Oh,
for
okay.
Senior Care.
Okay,
So, she's one of those people I can reach really easily.
Sure. That's important.
And so it is, and not only that, but like Kim was saying, they're involved in so many things in this. And they are actually they get their money from the government or from they get their money from our taxes.
Mhm.
So it's really important, that what, and they also give many, many grants throughout all these nonprofits throughout the thing. So it's really good. So what do they have to offer? A lot. They have, seriously,
Yeah, right.
they have money to offer, they have knowledge, they have the people
yeah.
also.
I say contacts.
And
Yeah, that.
and yes, and they also have all the contacts within, like, or I shouldn't say all, but a lot of them in the, with the district, like Jim Desmond's office and
Sure,
things
sure.
like that. So that kind of, okay. So knowledge and contacts, yeah.
Hey, Gail, just as an FYI, before she did Fallbrook Regional Health and Foundation, she has 10 years of experience at Compass Grant Writing.
At what? I'm sorry.
Compass Grant Writing.
Grant writing.
Grant writing. Who has that?
Rachel Mason.
Oh, right, yeah. And she's also been in hospice, she's been in a lot of different things, so, and she lives in Temecula area, Murrieta, whatever, but her heart is here as far as all the things she does here. But anybody else, can we come up with some other ideas?
Sherry from the ESL.
Sherry from ESL. Okay, so we want to do education. Sherry with an I?
I think it's
Yes.
RRIE.
Okay.
RRI.
Okay, so how would you rate our position with her? Strong, right?
Yeah.
And what does she have to offer us?
Well, she interfaces with a lot of different aspects. I mean, she teaches at the food pantry, and she is a resource for or
Okay.
An employee of Palomar College, and
So she has many contacts, and she also has contact with the Hispanic community.
absolutely.
And wasn't it you, Father Leland? Who did you talk to out there from Palomar who was interested in?
Yeah, I don't remember his name, but Sherry knows him, and I've talked with her about him.
Uh-huh.
I had a conversation for about 20 minutes at a fundraising thing,
Right. Uh-huh.
and with the person who's in charge of the Palomar campus in Fallbrook. And I talked a little bit about some of this stuff, and he was very interested. He wanted to be looped in.
Right. Anybody else?
I just met a couple, this isn't an organization, but I met a couple last weekend and I asked them what they thought, and they had suggested a cultural center where there was information about the history of Fallbrook. Now, I don't know if that's at the museum or not.
We have the Fallbrook Museum, yeah, we have our
Right.
Historical Society.
Also, they mentioned a place where local artists could put their art. I know the library has a community
Right,
center,
right.
but, and also we've got the art gallery, but they said there's specific genres of art that they focus on, every once in a while,
Yeah.
whatever.
Uh-huh.
And this would be for local artists that, want to display their work.
What organization would you, do they represent, or were they just people you knew?
They were just people.
Okay, so regular folks, we have that, we also have that. So, Do you have any idea of their names? Or where
Yes,
they
I
were
do,
from?
actually.
Okay,
Cynthia and Joe Seriano, I believe.
okay. And what organization, or where were you at, or?
St. Peter's Fish Fry.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
That's great.
They're on Fridays. She is on Fridays. Yeah, good enough for her.
And would you say that was a weak or strong or just an okay
I've
contact?
never been there, but say it's really
What do
good.
you-
An okay contact,
Okay, yeah.
yeah, okay. And what would you say they have to offer, other, just their
Their
opinions?
opinion.
Is that what Friends of
You know
Fallbrook is
what,
for?
people's opinions count, they count a lot, and we'll start seeing that as we start throwing stuff out, and people go, oh, I don't think so, or whatever. Anyway, anybody else, any other thoughts?
Just to connect with the Art Society here in Fallbrook and connect with the school district here of showing the artwork of the students at the high school.
Yeah.
Okay, so who would you know that would be involved with something like that? I'm looking for people and contacts and organizations.
Well, at the high school, probably the,
the art director.
yeah, the art director.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
I
the art
don't-
department,
Yeah.
high
the
school,
art department.
okay, education,
Yes.
okay. High school art. Okay. Who do you know at the high school? Who do you know?
Superintendent,
Right, so give me a name.
Ilsa
Ilsa?
Garza Gonzalez.
Okay. And she's the principal? Or no, she's the superintendent?
Superintendent.
Okay. And would you say your relationship with her is strong? Okay, Mia, you could talk to her about what you want to get done? Yeah? You could approach her, she'd pick up the phone if you called?
Sure.
Okay. And so what would she have, what would they have to offer us?
Well, contacts for sure.
Contacts for what, though?
Well, like if you want to get in contact with the drama department, the art department,
Okay.
whatever the case may be, and so forth, that would be the person to
Right.
go. And then whoever from St. John says,
Okay.
"Oh, by the way, what's her name? Oh yeah, we were talking to her. She said you're the person we're supposed to go to." That gives us a little more reason for them to
Right.
want to
Right.
interact with you.
Okay, okay. What else? Who else do we know?
Fallbrook Chamber of Commerce.
Okay?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yep. And so where am I on that one? Civic? No, community cultural civic clubs?
Sure.
Okay, so, Chamber of Commerce,
Yeah.
okay. Anybody know Leela?
Not anymore.
Okay. We do, because we've been chamber members for 30 years, but I would say it's pretty strong. She is a person I contacted and told her once we decided we were going to, thinking of doing something with the property, I said, how can I get out into the community and meet them? She said, come to my community forum. I hold it once a month. I'll give you 3 minutes to talk. And that's what they do. They go around each person, each group, and they kind of tell what's happening in their world, kind of a thing. So with her and with them, it would be definitely, again, contacts with all the businesses, as well as she's also a lifelong resident. So she's gone to Fallbrook High School, she did everything. So, she has a true love of this place, and that's why she does so well as her.
No,
She's the one who does the avocado, they do everything, the avocado festivals and all that.
What about the wellness center? I don't know anybody there, but that just
The
came to
Wellness
mind.
Center, yeah, is part of the Fallbrook Regional Health District.
Oh.
And that's where, again, they have got a phenomenal amount of stuff going on there. Also, the lady who's putting all those programs together is Teresa Girasitano. She also worked at the foundation there, and Rachel took her for us. But again, they all have a love for what's going on in this community. So,
I have I just looked this up online.
Okay.
Eileen Delaney is the
Yeah.
chair of the Fallbrook Community Planning Group.
Right.
And kind of finding that, the pulse of where Fallbrook is bleeding and in need
Right.
of,
Right?
like the chief of, not the chief of police, but the sheriff's department. Where do they go? What are we truly missing here as far as our children? Is there abuse going on? Is there a place where people can learn how to be parents or learn how to, is there, again, abuse where the child abuse, spouse abuse, partner abuse, whatever. And do we have something where people can reach out with the social workers and all that to, while they're painting over here, there's another room where we're doing groups or whatever to help meet the needs of what's going on here. And again, I spoke with you last time I was talking about, is there a shelter where people could go that is there a home that nobody knows about where people are taking shelter to feel safe from abuse?
Right.
Yeah, so.
Right.
And the community.
So when are you asking for resources due to like domestic violence?
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
domestic violence counselors?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so we do have Palomar Counseling, which in town, which is again done with Fallbrook Regional Health District, and they have now class. They not only have individual members come, but they also have they're now starting classes and 1 day a week up at the Wellness Center.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the thing is, all these programs, and I'm not saying that to say, okay, well, that's being done. I'm not. What I'm saying is all these things are starting to come to a bubble. And every organization in this town, from every one of the ones I have talked to, everyone is looking for, to increase the services that we have and to improve them. And it's mainly through that Fallbrook Regional Health District and Rachel Mason and their board and everything else. And that's one of the things about collaboration, because they're saying if we can get all these groups who are interested, we have the Palomar Mentor, we do give them grants. They do come in, they have a little house up here that they meet at. But now they're offering classes down here, not classes, but sessions, let's put it that way. So things like that are happening, and we could be a part of it, because there's no reason why whatever we decide is going to go in up there could have a separate room or separate area or an escape place. And when you're talking about one of our clients during an evacuation, one of our clients was a little lady, and her dog was everything in the world. She could hardly pay the rent, but let me tell you, that dog got the best of care. During the evacuation, she lived down by the Fallbrook post office. Evacuation was down at the high school. That's the only place she could go. She would not go because she could not take her dog and with the things that were necessary. I said, why didn't you call? She doesn't have a car, because she can't. She used to walk to our appointments and everything until I found out, and then I went and picked her up. This kind of stuff that's going, So the fire department now, and because I talked about it at the Foundation for Senior Care, and I said, is there a list of all these people who are living by themselves and who can't drive? Because we have the care vans that go out and pick people up to go to the store. Well, what happens if they have to get evacuated? So the fire department and the police department, and because we have Yana, does anybody know anyone who's in Yana? Yana is You Are Not Alone. And so in this town, you can go to the sheriff's department and you can say, my neighbor lives alone, and we're 2 acres away. Could somebody go and check on them and make sure? They will make phone calls to them every day just to make sure that they're up and answering the phone. Things like this that are going on in this community that are phenomenal. But there's so many people who don't know about it. So anyway, I can go on for hours about what everyone is doing, and it's fantastic. And what I'm saying is we can be a really vital part on this, because there isn't 5 acres dedicated anywhere to our community. And that's why it's so important for us to try to figure out how, what can we put there
Yeah, the
that
community
can be of
outreach center.
service to people.
Yes.
And anyway.
We do have the community center.
Yeah.
you know.
Excuse me?
We do have the community center.
We do,
and
we
they
do.
They do childcare over there. They do classes. They feed.
Mhm.
They feed the. They have, what do you call it, Meals on Wheels? or-
That's the seniors,
Yeah.
that was the senior center does that, and they hold it at the community
Right,
center.
exactly.
And the reason they do that is because the community center is the only one that has an industrial kitchen.
Right.
And they, therefore, and not only that, but the industrial kitchen, in order the senior center to meet the state
Right.
standards and all that, needed to upgrade, and their
Exactly.
state was saying, well, or the government was saying, well, county, you need to upgrade it. Well, the senior center didn't have that
Well,
kind
the
of money to upgrade.
the senior center is not a very big building.
Yeah.
Exactly, and so they have to have, exactly. So, like I said, it might be, they also need transportation. And so, again, talking about collaboration,
Well, it would
we're
be,
talking about,
Wouldn't it be good to have a hub where you could go there, an information place in Fallbrook, where it's all there. You can go and you go here, go to this little house up on the hill.
right, okay.
Don't have to go to Gale Jones. It's all
We-
right here.
And that's exactly what they've been talking about, and what we have is the Regional Health District just put in what they called a navigator. The Fallbrook Senior Center, or Foundation, has had what we call advocates. It's the same if you want to call it a navigator or whatever. I can't, what they call a door-through-door program, which is, again, talking about the fire district, gets up an emergency, picks up a falling person, they're by themselves, they take them to an emergency place, they get put in the hospital. Anybody know they're there? Anybody know anything? They have an agreement with the foundation, with the advocates, to let them know, they get a signing, let them know that they are there, give them all the information, and then the advocate makes the arrangements to take them out of the hospital, get them home, check out their house, do whatever is necessary, rails, carpets, whatever needs to be done. And they have volunteers who will fix that for them. And I'm getting way off, I'm on a commercial for the Fallbrook Regional Health District.
I do want to follow up a little bit on that too, Gail. When it comes to the people that come into the house, it's usually occupational therapists that will come help mature folks.
Right.
Get lifts in their toilet seats, bars in their showers, make the house habitable. All they need to get these occupational therapists in a mature person's house is a referral from people that Gail are mentioning, or my favorite is People Assisting the Homeless is another one, can come in there and request occupational therapists to take a survey of the house and find things that would help the seniors.
And so we have that kind of thing, and the hub is what we would love to see.
Back to the chart.
Yeah.
One organization that I've gotten to know pretty well in doing the promotion of the
MOPS.
not MOPS, but the
White.
vendor showcase is Lucette Morimarco at Village News.
Right. Okay.
And I would say that our relationship is pretty strong.
Okay.
And she would put in,
Yep.
pretty much whatever we.
What's her name again?
Lucette, L-U-C.
Yep, got it. Okay, now I remember.
Lucette Morimarco.
Okay, she is the one who contacted me and said, Gail, why don't you just write a letter, and I'll put it in the Village News, write a letter to the community telling them what we want to do, and I'll put it in and we'll have it. But we talked with Jessica and Father Leland and everybody, and we kind of thought it's a little too early to do something like that, to go out into the community that fast. So,
But they're very, very good,
They are. They can be.
They're the kind of clearinghouse of all the activities that go on in
And so, would you
Fallbrook.
say week strong, that, I should have put her here, week, strong. you
I would
said.
say strong.
Yeah, okay, and again, can really, get it out there.
Yeah, yes, communicate,
Yeah. Okay.
with the community.
Who else
Communicate
do
with
we
the
know?
community.
Do we want to do Keith McReynolds at the fire district?
Yes, we do. Okay.
Jack Beebe at the utility district?
Yep. Now, do you know them? Do you know
I
them?
do. Keith McReynolds at Norfolk County Fire, I do know him, and Jack Beebe I met through Steve, huh, right? You took me to Rotary and made the connection with Jack Beebe, and we've been good friends ever since. We talk about different things going on in the community because the utility district is very, they need their Spanish speakers, so they lean on me to speak Spanish with what used to be the properties.
And he's Fallbrook Public Utility, right? And you
Jack
said
Beebe,
you
yes.
said Delaney, right? And I missed that one. And she's
She's
more
the
civic,
chair.
yeah?
Yeah, she's the chair, Eileen Delaney.
Yep, Eileen Delaney.
Fallbrook Community Plan
Yep.
Group. I mean, I even like where, when we reach out to the paper, like, I don't know how they would do this, but just like even a survey from the people, like, what do you want to see?
Right. When I went to the Regional Health District, the Chamber of Commerce thing, and I spoke, the first thing Eileen Delaney said, and what's your permit? What kind of permits do you have up there? What's your zoning? What's your blah, 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 blah? Immediately. I said, what I know
Do we
is
want to
right
create
now.
like a Google Doc or a Google survey so that we can just give somebody a QR code or a Google survey address and they can go put in their contact information and their 2 cents into a Google Doc?
We don't want it yet, I don't think.
I like that.
Because we don't have that mission. We don't have that ability to respond. I have one
We're not
that,
that defined.
huh? I'm sorry, Deb?
I like what you're saying. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and it was just, Jessica put something together for me, because after I went out and did those, I said, all of a sudden I got these emails from people saying, oh, I think we should do this, oh, I think we should do that, and I went, what do I say back? And I want to acknowledge the fact that they responded and took the time. And she put together, she's a beautiful communicator, so she put together a very nice, lovely little 2-paragraph thing that now I just copy paste put.
You need to
Okay, all righty. Who else?
wind down.
Okay.
And we do have a good relationship with the Fallbrook Food Pantry. And
Okay.
Carolina specifically, spelled
Okay.
like Carolina, but pronounced
So we
Carolina.
would put her in,
Right?
Yes, correct. Carolina Miller.
Right, thank you.
so would we put them in health? Well, food
What?
pantry? I guess so.
Put it over.
Yeah, that's good.
It's an important one.
Did everybody write things down on their
Yeah.
things? Because we can turn these in, because I don't want to be a spoil sport here, but
No,
we're coming
okay.
close to the end of the
Sorry.
road for the
All
meeting.
right, and would you say that was strong, Evelina?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
She really, really, really likes John Hagman. You got a crush on him?
Here we go.
Okay, and I know the former
Mary's
board
born
member
girl.
there,
Who's this woman?
Karen, was it Susan Sousa?
She works, you wouldn't know her.
Yeah, and
Sousa.
she, yes, and she's in numerous,
Oh, yeah.
She has a
things,
job.
so, okay.
Great.
As
She
you
doesn't
go
mingle with people at
through,
work.
would you start to think about the people that you do know? Fallbrook Planning, other than Eileen Delaney, who do you know there?
Well, I
You
don't
were on
know
the
anybody
board.
now, but I mean, I'll volunteer to go, you know,
Uh-huh.
whenever the time,
Uh-huh.
when the time, you know, I already said
Right.
that. But, you know,
Okay.
but I don't know any,
Uh-huh.
I don't know any of the present
Okay.
members.
But what can they do for us,
Well,
other than criticize
well,
us?
I think, you know, no, seriously, and I've thought about this, is that as we go forward, you know, as we go forward and have all these plans and stuff go through,
Right.
and so forth, and, you know, when something finally comes on the
Right.
horizon, it would be, in my view, it would be good for us to show that to them and say, okay, you know, this is what we got in mind, what do you think?
Right,
You know, and then that way, you know, that's a way to.
and we're
you
gonna
know,
have to do that.
Well, we're
whether
gonna have
we
to do
want
that anyhow,
or
but
not.
that'd be the most
Right.
prudent way I would go forward, I think.
Yeah. Anyway, the idea is to start thinking about the people that you know and what can we do for them, but what can they do for us to help us through this? And what inside information can they give us? You know, Carol, you've given us the information about the community center. You have obviously been there. Okay, I've talked to their board and everything else. They are very enthusiastic about it. They want transportation. Fallbrook Regional Health District wants transportation. Foundation for Senior Care is the only people in town who have transportation. So, could we develop that? Could we do something?
The childcare that used to be here
Yep.
at the
Child
church.
development
That
center.
down, we did Head Start.
Right.
We did Head Start at one point. We were the ones who started that.
Right.
So
It's
what?
a child development
Uh-huh.
center, it's a state program.
Yep, exactly. And the other part of it is that in this collaboration, not only in the government, because again, the government holds the purse strings and who's going to get what dollars for what projects and things like that. Intergenerational is big on their list. So if you have, like in St. Paul Senior Center, they have a daycare where the older people get a chance to talk and read to the younger ones. The younger ones get to play with grandma and grandpa,
Yeah.
you know, kind of a thing. So they're all pushing these things and it's all happening. And it's exciting. It's really exciting to think that people are really starting to respond to the needs.
Yeah, that's a good thought, to mix the seniors with the younger people, because they need that interaction.
We don't have a big, the only place that, if you have to remember, we don't have internet. In a lot of these places, they don't have internet. A lot of these people don't get it, they don't have access to it. If we had an area where, again, you had young people who could use computers or teach the older people or others, or have classes, because Foundation also has computer classes that they run on a Friday. They also run a Fix It Friday for your computers and things like that. So if we can somehow, like you say, get a hub, get something going, and find out what's out there,
And if we could do something for not just the young children, the youth.
Right.
of
Well, we are
Fallbrook,
getting a
because they're
teen center.
desperate.
We are getting a teen center. They finally got that going, and that's Boys and Girls Club. And again, Boys and Girls Club, what they do is they often will put together, they write Valentine cards and things like that that they send out to the senior groups and to different ones, as well as the high schools and all. So they're doing some really fun things.
Where's the teen center?
The Boys and Girls
It's
Club.
going to be
Important.
right at where the Boys and Girls Club is now, the big gray blue building up there. They're going to move, those are the administrative offices. They're going to move the administrative offices downtown to the lawyer's office that was for sale across from the big parking lot
All right.
by the library.
Oh.
They're moving in there with their administrative offices, and then they're going to do
They're gonna use the other
So-
part for the
Excuse
Boys
me?
and Girls Club?
It's right across the street.
Are they gonna use the
Cross Mission?
administration?
Cross Mission?
for the teen center. Temporarily, right now.
That'd
They're
be
hoping
nice.
to do a much bigger one, but they're talking multi-millions of dollars.
Yeah, yeah.
And so,
Well, it used to be a school.
right?
Folks, we'll pick this up next week,
Okay.
and Gale has the enviable job of taking all the things that we hand into her and adding them to her chart up there, and then putting it together in a way that we can disseminate it. And so we appreciate what Gale and Derek have offered this evening. Another round of applause for them. And so if you haven't signed up for soup and would like to bring some, please do, or a salad. I don't know if you're going to leave your rolls for next week. Okay, we'll put them in the fridge.